Hi, everybody. Welcome to Voces y Vivencias. I am Nancita Kapi, your host for this podcast where I invite artists, invite entrepreneurs to come and share their journey. And today we are sharing my journey regarding my song Humo. And Humo is a song that actually was written in 2024, and it's a song that was released on January 2nd, 2026. And it's really, well, I can go through the lyrics with you, but that part is in Spanish. So I kind of like started doing Latin music. Ooh, when did I start doing Latin music fully? After my second album, which is Chambre Froide, Black Ice, I decided to, kind of change gears and do Latin music. But I've always wanted to do Spanish, writing Spanish lyrics and Spanish music for a while. And actually, my first song that came out was like a mix of a few languages. It was a mix of German, French, English, and Spanish. So I've been kind of doing mixes for a long time. But Hubo really, in English, really says there was smoke. And it's really a call for accountability, a call for dropping masks, a call for, stop victim blaming, stop playing a victim, in situations. And so shout out to my production team again, my production team for the song we did in the studio at VODB Studios, and also my production team for filming the video that you guys have seen, and I hope you guys enjoy. And it really, we all came together. Well, basically, I came together with my main videographer, Mason Tivial, and we had this idea. Well, and then he came up with most of the artistic ideas as well. So I really enjoy working with him because we really understand each other on the vision of the project. So it's really talking about smoke. So sometimes there's smoke, there's no fire without smoke. So in other words, that's what the song really talks about. And I wrote this song really in a state where what I was going through. So I was really excited to share this right now with you, because that song was basically written actually I was looking back at my studio files, and it was March 2024. So it was really fresh from the situation that happened, which was actually December. So 3 months prior to that. So sometimes it's really good to write from that when things are fresh, and it's still warm, and you can still use all that energy. You can still use those emotions that you're feeling to write a song. So I know this is actually that's what I wanted to share for my tip for songwriters. I know I'm talking about a lot of things, but trying to focus on one topic. And for it to for it to be authentic, and for it not to be all over the place. So Hubo was one of these songs. So we were focusing on the message, and sometimes you develop verse one, you talk about something, and then you develop later on verse two. So that's my little tip for my artists as well while I'm talking about Hubo. And Hubo is really a work of art, masterpiece. Really enjoyed working on that, and it's really the fact that it came out in the winter was really kind of by accident. I had submitted everything to distribution, and I selected a date, but it was not the date that I really wanted it. I did want it to be in the summer, but I'm excited that it came out in the winter, because sometimes we need that reminder. It doesn't matter when that reminder is sent out, for people to try to stay authentic and try to be real. So that song is really a call for that. Sometimes you're in a situation where the person that you're dealing with in front of you is playing victim totally, but they're kind of like the instigator of everything. So it's basically Hubo, Humo. So if we go in verse 1, it says te incendiaste. So basically you lit yourself on fire. Y pues, ¿qué esperabas? So basically, what were you expecting? No, pues, ¿qué esperaba? So no debía negarlo. So I should not actually well, sometimes there's some words that you can't really translate directly. No debe negarlo. You shouldn't deny it. Pero contigo no hay sorpresa. So shouldn't deny, but with you there's no surprises. So that's kind of like to give you the vibe of, the first verse, and it's basically, so, sometimes it's basically like a life, like an autobiography, like always. So that was verse 1, and then I kind of like explained the story after porque hubo humo, porque hubo humo. So because there was smoke. And so I'm just gonna give you that part. If you guys have other questions, feel free, to comment on this podcast. Feel free to comment, on the clips that we have on Instagram, we have on TikTok, and all of the social media, and also on the video on YouTube. And I cannot wait to see all your comments. And I do hope that you enjoyed the song as much as I did. It was really like a dark period for me. So, sometimes you write something in that period and you don't know what to expect. But now thinking back, 2 years almost now. So yeah, almost 2 years. I'm glad that things turned out the way they did, so that I was able to write a song and, to share it with other people that may, have been in a situation like this, or might be in a situation like that. So sometimes it's important to know that who you're dealing with. Some people will never recognize that they did something that, hurt you. They did something that, are actually like, you're intertwined like in that situation, because now you're kind of like stuck in that fire, right? Or stuck in that situation with them. So, and you just have to try to get out and, and survive. So that's it. So I thank you for watching Voces y Vivencias. I am Nancita Kapi, and it was lovely to have you today. See you next time.